thoughts on this accomplishment?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the appropriate thoughts or words, but I'm grateful and thankful to be the coach at UVA. I'm thankful that our players allow me to coach them and that they try hard and that it matters to them. And yeah, 30-13 was where we were. And credit Louisville and Coach Satterfield and his staff. It was a remarkable turn of events by them in the third quarter, and they took over the game. But to Brennan's credit and our team's credit, they just kept chipping and clawing and fighting and coming back. And right, they're really resilient. We did prepare starting on Monday for this game to be the equivalent of a 15-round fight with the referee holding both hands, and right at the end, someone's hand is going up. And sure enough, that's exactly how it came out. And a few inches, again, determines and has such huge implications. And so, yeah, it's ACC football, and I'm just Brennan Armstrong to come back from the third quarter he had. Yeah, that's hard to do in a game, especially when you're on the road, and I was really proud of him.
Coach, you have guiding principles about will before skill and toughness and endurance. Can you talk about the play that Darius Bratton runs down their running back Hall, who had a big second half? Some could attribute it to as a game-saving tackle. Does that embody the spirit you want this team to have?
It does, and he was the player. There's a lot of statistics that were remarkable, I think, for both teams, but the player that broke the rock for us was Darius Bratton. He didn't have a significant role tonight in terms of number of plays, but wow, there couldn't have been a bigger play. And his effort and fortitude and just commitment to our team, that one, to me, I'm not going to forget as a coach. In fact, I only remember a couple plays from that whole game, and that was the one I remember most. And Grant Mish. Right?
Yeah. Last two things, Coach. Defensively, you've said the last few weeks you've seen significant improvement. Mm-hmm. You've seen more of what you like. Even after that third quarter that Louisville took control, what were your assessment of your defensive execution down the stretch?
Oh, they're getting better each game, and the idea is capacity and consistency. And so the first half, you saw the very first play of the game, Louisville did a really nice job throwing and catching, and then from there, really nothing in the first half. But the second half, and there were turnovers and there were some other things, right? But a long run, and then but down the stretch, enough plays, enough consistency, more positive plays longer than what we've been doing. And right now, 2-minute defense, and like as we look at this team and this identity and this race for the conference, 2-minute games. So we'll keep chipping away at that too, because man, you're gonna have to make plays at the end on both sides, is what we found out tonight.
Final question for us, Coach. I think we're all wondering what goes through your mind the second week in a row when the game comes down to a field goal and the team on the other sideline misses. Just your thoughts in relation for this team.
Yeah, it's the first time in my career, and just grateful. Right, I know what it's like to be on the other side, and I know the margin for error, and just grateful that we played well enough and had one more play go our way than the opponent. And my credit, and I think Coach Satterfield and his team, I thought they played hard and really well, and so did we. Right, and so one play is really what it comes down to, and there's so many you could pick from. That was just the most visible.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
We'll go Jeff and Bennett in Preston.
Bronco, I know you're running out of adjectives for Keaton, but on that final drive, he had 2 fourth-down catches with a broken hand. Then he nearly scored, at the goal line, the play that came back to the 2. Just what about his ability to produce in the clutch?
I've never, and I hate using the word never, right? But there's no one that I see that makes so many plays in so many different ways at critical times, and he's got a broken hand, right? That's hard to catch with a broken hand. And Billy Kemp is similar, right? Those two, just the volume of plays they're making. And then Rashawn Henry, right, and his emergence with Dontavian Wicks going down, and Jelani's in and out, right? So it's really just the entire collective program. However, right, Keaton just seems to be there when you need him, and when your heart is stopping and your breath is holding and your stress is building, and there he goes catching another one.
Consecutive ACC road wins for the first time in a decade. And you talked about that first time since a lot, but what does that step mean for your program?
Oh, it's huge. We have targeted it, right? We have trained for it. We have worked, and it's not glamorous, but it is road road wins, and they're hard, as we've seen. I would love to say our training and our emphasis has prepared us for it. I don't think it's accidental. Who knows for sure, but I believe that, right, that we've trained and emphasized it and that put so many design elements in place to help us. And I have to believe that that's one of the things, but who the team is, I think that's something else. And I don't know how much influence I have on that. I think they're just great, supporting each other, and they believe, which is, it's hard for me to give them that.
Bronco, a lot of times this year the defense has come up as one of the biggest question marks, but time and time again, Brennan had those interceptions there that kind of set them up with the short field, and you seemed pretty animated when they held them to a field goal or got stopped. What can you say about their efforts?
Oh, I thought they were outstanding in the critical moment. So the difference between this game and, let's say, the Wake Forest game, right, was the critical moment stops. And the rest of it, about the same, right? But the critical moment stops is how you have success, and that's what they did. And really, that's I hate to say it's all that matters, but it really matters. And that's how you have success. And they're to be credited for that because they've been working their guts out over the past couple of weeks.
Brennan's performance, I guess if there's any time left on the clock, Brennan thinks he can win the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's sure how he acted today. Talk about his play and how he figured in
Yeah, I think you've described him accurately, and I've tried to articulate that before. He's just the guy, if it's a neighborhood game and he's, whatever side he's on, you want to be on that team because you think you're going to win just because he thinks he's going to win no matter what the circumstances. And yeah, when you throw a couple interceptions and yeah, things don't go your way, it sure didn't seem to bother him. Or maybe it bothered him so much that he went, but he just is, he's just a fierce competitor and he's so capable. And after the game, he just, he knew it wasn't perfect, but it was enough. And that's kind of where our team is.
I don't know how prominently Mish figured in their scouting report on the touchdown. What option was he on that play?
Well, there's not many below him on that play. But yeah, I just, when we were hugging in the locker room, what a great moment for Grant Mish and Darius Bratton. That's what I'm taking away from this game. Those two plays, yeah, there's a million others in terms of volume, but and he was holding his breath and his eyes were big and he's not used to having the ball thrown to him, and so then he smiled and laughed and we just had a great moment. So yeah, but he's not the primary.